and interpretation of the hotel industry. Now let's look at the industry overview. The tourism industry is a vital part of the Sri Lankan economy, and the industry has become a separate sector in 1966. The GDP for the tourism industry is 12.5%. When you see the tourism in Sri Lanka, it has gradually decreased after the Easter bomb attacks. Sri Lanka attracts a lot of tourists due to its lush green serene ambience created in Sri Lanka. Most of them prefer to travel by train, and we have a lot of motorized trains in Sri Lanka, where the tourists can enjoy the lush environments as well. Let's look at the 4 companies that we have taken for today: Serendip Hotels, Anilana Hotels and Properties, Amaya Leisure and Citrus Leisure. Serendip Hotels being our base company. Let's look more into Serendip Hotels. Serendip Hotels is a part of the Serendip Leisure, which is one of the most leading groups in Sri Lanka. Their hospitality includes the island's key attractions, such as the beaches, jungles, and lagoons. Some of their properties are Avani Benthota Beach Resort, Avani Kalaturi Resort, Club Hotel Dolphin, and Hotel Sea Gideon. Their boutique resorts and villas include Lantern Sri Lanka and Villa 700. Their total revenue being 2.03 million and their market share being 15.90 rupees. The next company is Anilana Hotels and Properties. This was established in 2014 and it holds 2% of the GDP. The occupancy rate is 70 to 90% and their total revenue is 245 million. If you look at Amaya Leisure, which is our third company, their total revenue is rupees 1226 million and they have a total of 362 rooms. When you compare to 2019, they have a slight drop in their total revenue, but they are improving at the moment. Their market price per share is rupees 25. Their main attractions are at Kandalama, Dambulla, Kanti, Pasikuda and Nuvareliya. They have a total of 10 hotel properties. The occupancy rate is from 36 to 55%. Our fourth company is Citrus Leisure. Their total revenue is 1,455 million. They have an increase of 14% from the previous year. They own 3 hotels. Their main attractions are situated in Citrus Hikkaduwa and Citrus Vaskadua. The Stuart by Citrus is one of their latest and they have 50 rooms. Their market share is 11.80 rupees and they hold 10.4% of the global travel and tourism sector. And the occupancy rate is 73%.
Yeah, under the vertical analysis, we will present income statement and statement of financial position. When we come to the income statement, the whole industry shows an average of 89% of gross profit margin, while Citrus and Amaya has the highest due to they don't have a cost of sales in 2018-2019. Then all hotels is showing actually non-operating profit due to the high administrative expenses, especially in Anilana and Amaya. Then all hotels were gone to the disaster level, actually on profit before tax as well as profit after tax. When you come to the statement of financial position, we can see higher percentage of investment has been carried out for the property plant equipments in Anilana and Serendip, and also investment in subsidiaries as Serendip 46%, Anilana 40%, Citrus 84%, which was highest one, and also Amaya 68%. When we comes to the current assets, Amaya has carried out the significant of current asset percentage while comparing with the others due to it actually had trade and other receivables. When we come to the equity and liability area, due to proceed for share allotment during the financial year by Anilana, actually has contributed 102 percentage for the statement of capital, while Citrus 63% and Amaya 53%. Anyway, Anilana has minus percentage of retained earnings in 2018-2019. When we comes to the loans and borrowings, actually which has 27 percentage at Citrus, and it is the highest non-current liabilities. Also, highest interest bearing loans and borrowing has carried out by Serendip, and second highest one was Anilana. The next part, horizontal analysis, we will discuss the revenue of Serendip and gross profit margin, profit before tax, fixed asset, equity, market value per share. So at the Serendip, the turnover actually has gradually increased till 2017-2018, but it can be seen there's a decline mood due to East bomb attack. The profit before tax, actually it has declined mode after 2018-2019. The reason was high administrative cost while less turnover. Anyway, gross profit, they have maintained 387 million since 2014-2015 financial year. When we come to the equity, actually there is a significant drop in retained earnings, actually which affected to the total equity of the Serendip company. Under the other component of equity, we can see actually fair value reserve was higher than asset revaluation reserve. When we comes to the fixed asset, company has carried out uh, fixed asset as the increasing level from 2017 and 2019 and 2020 financial year. Anyway, the group market share has gradually decreased due to low profit and sudden changes in current Sri Lankan situation like East Bombay attack. So I owe to my colleague to present next part.
Next, we have the ratio analysis to be carried out, and I will be talking about the profitability ratios and the liquidity ratios. First up, we have the operating profit margin ratio. The GP margin has not been indicated here because we're looking at a group of companies in terms of hotels, and it's not essentially a trading business. And since it's a group of hotels that we are talking about, a large part of the customer acquisition direct costs related to the sales have been captured under the group, so that has not been taken as most of the hotels show 100% GP margin because of that. The operating profit margin, where Serendip is having a healthy operating profit margin over the years of about 18%, maintaining on average. Amaya shows an extremely high operating profit margin in 2015, but then it starts to decline. This is because in 2015 there was a high value of creditors being written back, and then Anilana shows a huge decline in 2018 in the operating profit margin, which is very abnormal. It is a 1,000% operating profit margin. This is because of a huge, absurdly high administration cost that has been declared at 1.58 billion, for which explanation has not been provided. Next, we move on to the net profit margin ratio, which is somewhat of a similar situation. Serendip has been able to maintain a healthy net profit margin until 2018, after which it started to make losses, and which is why it has moved to a negative percentage. And if you look at Citrus has made a 32% net profit margin in 2015, but has made significant losses since then. And Anilana has also made significant losses throughout, largely due to the high amount of administration costs that have incurred. Amaya shows unusual figures where it shows really high net profit margins over the years, and this is usually been because of one or two significant transactions that have taken place, whether it be a profit on sale of subsidiary in 2019 or in 2018 there's a share purchase transaction. Similarly, in 2016-15 there was a significant dividend that has been declared, which has resulted in the accounts showing a significant profit, and therefore the ratio similarly being quite high. Next up is the return on capital employed. The overall trend, the ROCE shows a decline. Serendip shows a ROCE of average of 7%, and ROCE of Amaya has declined from being positive in 2015 to 2017 to negative in 2018 and 19. Citrus shows 0 to 1.5% return over the years, and the ROCE of Anilana is negative throughout, and then massive decline that you can see as a result of that major loss that has been incurred during the year of 2018. Next up is the return on equity that has been calculated. Serendip, if you look at Serendip, it maintains a positive ROE up until 2019, with the highest being in 11.6 in 2016. In 2019, ROCE was minus 7.4 because of the loss that was incurred, and that is also reflected in the earlier ratio. Amaya has the highest level of ROCE due to the high levels of reported profit, again because of the transactions as shown in the previous slide. And Anilana and Citrus have experienced negative ROEs throughout. The next is the return on assets and the return on net assets. So they basically, both these ratios show a similar trend. It can be seen that 2016 was a good year for all the companies, mainly due to higher profits. Serendip has maintained an average ROA of 4%, which is relatively good, and Amaya has the highest average ROA at 11%. Citrus and Anilana has negative ROA throughout the years, and the RONA of all companies also show a similar trend. Looking at the liquidity ratios, the current ratio, all companies have a current ratio below the benchmark of 2:1, and usually the reason may be because of the large value of short-term borrowings that they have, and the liquidity position largely fluctuates for all companies over the years. Serendip has maintained an average of 0.43:1, which is still below the benchmark. However, if you look at the quick ratio, because of the lack of inventory of these companies, that the quick ratio is almost similar to the current ratio. So that basically shows which is a relatively better position in still, although it is below the benchmark of 1:1. So that is basically the end of the liquidity ratios, and my colleague will now take up the asset management ratios.
Now we are going to consider about the asset management ratios. These ratios are essential for analyzing how effectively and efficiently businesses manage their assets to produce sales. Let's move into the asset turnover ratio. Compared to the other hotels, Serendip has a higher asset turnover because it has higher revenue and low net current assets than the other hotels for the last 5 years period. All of these other hotel chains recorded ratio below 0.1 times. In the 2015-16 and 2016-17 annual period, Serendip able to have a considerable growth. However, in the 2017-18 and 2018-19 period, that growth recorded decreases. The next ratio that we analyze related to the asset management is fixed asset turnover. We notice that these ratio results are quite similar to the asset turnover ratio results for these hotel chains. When we consider about the Serendip hotels, it's recorded higher fixed asset turnover than the other hotel chains. Serendip recorded positive growth of the fixed asset turnover from 2015-16 to 2016-17 periods, and then that recorded growth portion were decreased in the last few annual years. All of other companies recorded ratio results below 1 time. Amaya hotel chain slightly improved the ratio within the last 5 years. Let's discuss about the debt management or gearing ratios. Debt management ratios attempt to measure the company's financial leverage and ability to avoid financial distress in the long run. Let's move into debt ratio. Serendip was able to maintain a debt ratio of below 10% throughout the last 5 years. When we look at as a whole, in the last 5 years, Serendip able to decrease its debt ratio percentages. In the year 2019, Amaya Hotels recorded lowest debt percentage, and Amaya gradually reduces the debt percentage within the last 5 years. Citrus recorded the rapid growth of the percentage between 2015-16 and 2018-19 annual years. Then, let's have a look on debt to equity ratio. For the last 5 years, Serendip was able to maintain the ratio percentage with a steady level and only recorded slight reduction. Serendip gained lowest debt to equity percentages in the 2016-17 annual year. Amaya Hotels showed rapid decrease in the ratio percentages. During the last annual year, Anilana Hotels instantly reduced the debt to equity percentages because their non-current liabilities reduced from the 720 billion rupees to 227 billion rupees. Another essential ratio that we analyze is interest cover. In the 2015-16 annual year, Serendip recorded the positive growth of interest cover percentage, and the next 4 years they reduced the percentages. However, compared to the other hotels, Serendip interest cover was at a higher level. All other hotels recently recorded the negative interest cover percentages because most of these hotel chains having a negative operating profits in the last 5 years. That's all about the debt management. My colleague will explain the invest ratio outcomes.
When we consider the market ratios or the investor ratios of Serendip in comparison to its market players, it can give us an insight on how the hotel can be valued by its investors, in particular the ordinary shareholders. When considering the dividend cover and dividend payout ratio as illustrated over the last 5 years, only Serendip and Hotel Amaya has values, as only these two hotels have declared dividends in this period. Out of the 2 years that Serendip have paid dividends, in 2016 the dividend cover is at highest, and in 2017 it is the second highest next to Amaya. However, none of the hotels have paid dividends in the year ended in 2018, which is the financial year of the Easter attack. Corresponding to the impact of the tourism industry in 2019, all 4 hotels including Serendip was loss-making with no divisible profit. Only Amaya has declared dividend this year. Although Amaya has declared dividend in 4 years, there is a downward trend in overall dividend payout ratio. Serendip, on the other hand, has maintained its dividend payout ratio around 1% for the years that dividend was declared. When comparing the dividend yield for the 2 years that dividend was declared, Serendip shows an increasing trend. Hotel Amaya was able to have a continuous positive dividend yield to the shareholders except in 2018. When we consider the earnings per share, only Serendip and Amaya was able to have a positive earnings per share throughout, except in 2019. Although in these 4 years, Amaya has shown comparatively high earnings per share, had fluctuations, Serendip was able to maintain somewhat stable positive EPS with minimum fluctuations. In fact, in 2019, there's a drastic drop in EPS in Amaya compared to the others, which is the lowest EPS recorded. Although the EPS of Serendip was impacted, giving a negative value, this is not a drastic change from the previous year. Therefore, it can be interpreted that Serendip is able to comparatively maintain its earnings in response to the impact of industry fluctuations. When considering the earnings yield, only Serendip and Amaya recorded positive earnings yield from 2015 to 18, Amaya recorded increasing earnings yield while Serendip recorded slightly fluctuating but positive earnings yield. This shows that the return that an ordinary shareholder can expect based on the total earnings in both these hotels are somewhat stable and positive in ordinary conditions. When considering PE ratio, both Anilana and Citrus shows that investor will incurring losses during this period with negative PE. In 2019, all the hotels recorded negative PE. From 2015 to 18, Amaya shows the most favorable PE for the potential investors with the lowest PE ratios, while Serendip shows the second most favorable PE ratios. When considering the price per book value, Serendip, Amaya and Citrus shows positive PBV. Over the years, Amaya shows the highest PBV, which is the most favorable in investors' perspective, with a downward trend. Both Serendip and Citrus show steady PBV compared to Amaya with a slight downward trend and Serendip recording the second highest over the 5 years. As the price per book value of Serendip is averaging around 1%, it can be interpreted that external versus internal valuation is closely aligned in Serendip.
Thank you, Vidu. Now we are moving into non-financial analysis. Under the non-financial analysis, we identified certain areas by evaluating the annual report of Serendip Leisure Company. There are corporate governance, corporate social responsibility, awards and accolades, sustainability, risk management, and online reputation. Now we are moving into corporate governance. Under the corporate governance, we happy to say all four companies adhere the corporate governance practices very well, such as Companies Act number 7 2007, listing rules of Colombo Stock Exchange, the code of best practices. Those are the code of governance practices and they followed very well. Now we are moving into corporate social responsibility. There are many more corporate social responsibility activities done by Serendip, and therefore we categorize it into certain areas such as health and safety, environmental, educational, society, and religious. When we considering about the health and safety category, it organized the bulk donation programs all around Sri Lanka. And when we come to the educational CSR activity category, they started a preschool for Diwakpitia village and conduct the English classes for the benefit of youth people. There are so many CSR activities done by the Serendip, and due to the time limitation, we describe only two. Now we are moving into award and accolades. Serendip won so many awards such as Travel Life Gold Certificate, Trip Advisor Excellent, TUI Top Quality 2018 and 2019, so on. Because of those awards, company generates so many value addition to the investors and stakeholders. That's why the awards are important. So Serendip got those awards. Now we are moving into sustainability. Mainly Serendip hotel chain is treating sustainability of their part of the business. Therefore, it categorized on sustainability in three ways: social sustainability, economical sustainability, and environmental sustainability. As an example, economical sustainability, they use burn oil for soap manufacturing, and they initiate a biogas plant in club hotel for energy saving and converting CFL lighting to LED lighting to energy saving, so on. Now we are moving into risk management. In risk management, they categorize the risk into certain areas such as country risk, market risk, human resource risk, credit risk, environment risk, health and safety risk, regulatory risk, and interest rate risk. And relevant to those risk category, they identify risk exposures. Our next slide mention how those risk exposures going to mitigate by using ISO standard. Those are the ISO standards they follow to mitigate those risks by using ISO 31000. Now we are moving into online reputation. Online reputation is really important for hotels. So it because client select the hotels by using the online ratings. Therefore, the Serendip Leisure Hotel got very good hotel rating by compared to last year and this year 2019. The hotel rating is going to when enhanced. Now we are moving into future outlooks. We all know Itza Sunday attack devastated the Sri Lankan tourism industry, and it will penalize our tourism revenue. And now Serendip Hotel going to do some promotion campaigns in all around the world by promoting Sri Lanka and Serendip Hotel, and company will continue to be headed sustainable position for this business while facing the emerging challenges. Now I'm going to over this presentation. Thank you.